Hello and welcome to Digital Transformation for Humans with your host, Amy. In this podcast, we delve into how technology intersects with leadership, innovation, and most importantly, the human spirit. Each episode features visionary leaders who understand that at the heart of success is the human touch, nurturing a winning mindset, fostering emotional intelligence, and building resilient teams. Today's conversation is going to focus on AI-powered search, how Google and Amazon's evolving algorithms are transforming the future of e-commerce. Max Sinclair, angel investor, founder, and CEO of eContent, ex-Amazon leader from London, is our expert guest today. Welcome, Max. So good to have you here today.
Good to be back. Good to see you, Amy.
Let's start the conversation and transform not just our technologies, but our ways of thinking and leading. Interested in connecting or collaborating? Find more information in the description. Subscribe and stay tuned for more episodes. Max, to start with, would you like to tell us a few words about yourself, about your transition from the corporate world where you was a senior executive of Amazon into your own venture and everything about your journey?
Sure. So I was at Amazon for 6 years. My last role in Amazon was to lead the expansion of grocery throughout Europe. So I was helping. Well, I'm not sure if your listeners are European, but if they are, they'll know supermarkets like Morrison's and Deer and Monoprix and Co-op and Tegut to kind of sell through Amazon 3P. And I left to found eContent. eContent helps e-commerce retailers and sellers to optimize their product listings. So we help to generate lifestyle images, A+ content, infographics, optimized copy, all optimized for the future of AI-powered search.
Amazing. And how did your experience at Amazon shape your vision for building this future-proof digital solution?
So I guess throughout 6 years at Amazon, they had 14 leadership principles. So the key one is customer obsession. So Amazon is very, very customer focused. There was supposed to be a metaphorical chair for the customer in every single important meeting. Some meetings actually did this. Some of the, when I was out in Singapore and we had Russ Brandinetti, who at the time was, he'd spent some time as kind of Jeff Bezos' number two. He'd been in the company for like 20 years. He was in charge of, at that time, international marketplaces. So everywhere apart from the US is what they called international. And in those kind of meetings, I was a chair for the customer to just to remind everyone that the customer comes first. And when I saw ChatGPT for the first time, having worked in search at Amazon, I just intuitively realized from that experience how much better the experience was of kind of searching and finding information from a conversational AI versus what we all are used to now on Amazon, which is kind of the keyword matching stuff. And I just knew from Amazon's DNA that this was a feature they're going to focus on. It was a transformative, better customer experience. It's exactly the kind of thing that Amazon leadership jump on and need to innovate and dominate in to maintain their position as the best online shopping experience. So I knew that this was coming from just my first interactions with ChatGPT, and yeah, we've been building the ability to optimize your listings for these large language models ever since. It's been about 2 years. And in the last few weeks, Amazon have rolled out what they call Rufus across all US customers. So they have, which Rufus is their kind of ChatGPT interface within Amazon. You can talk to it conversationally. I'm sure many of your listeners, by the time they're listening to this, will have heard of it or used it. And yeah, I guess the principle of customer obsession that really ran through the company just made me know that this was going to happen. Like, it was never a doubt in my mind that this was how Amazon is going to be in the future, because it's just better for the customer. And if it's better for the customer, forget, oh, we've got this massive PPC business, the ads business and whatever, like other reasons that Amazon may not transition to this. They're going to, if it's good to the customer, they're going to do it. So that's kind of, where we bet the company.
We are going to cover the introduction of Rufus solution and something similar to that a little bit later. But right now, I wonder, mobile first has driven e-com success for years. Do you see any emerging trends or technologies that could surpass or complement the mobile first approach in the near future?
Yeah, well, I think it's the same. Yeah, it's the same topic, right? I think the example of a mobile you bring up is a good one, because now 80% of searches start on mobile. And when I started at Amazon, that was 30%. And my view is that conversational searches is such a better experience that we are going to see that kind of an even steeper adoption curve than we did for mobile with Rufus. So, mobile took like kind of 6-7 years to kind of get adopted. I imagine this will be 1 or 2 years. I just think this is going to be a degree faster than what we saw before.
I think so too. Maybe we even need to divide that by 2. We'll see how it goes, but it's speeding up incredibly much.
Yeah.
Recent updates to Google and Amazon's algorithms have shaken up the e-com world. How are these changes affecting how people find and buy products online? What are the latest trends there?
So I think this is what we're talking about with Rufus, right? So Google have launched something similar, which is called Gemini. I'm not sure. You can see they're testing it now. So for me, I get Gemini kind of AI powered search results as my top search result for 50-60% of my searches now. And I just, from talking to people anecdotally, I think that's a different range for different people. So if you're using Chrome, Google know how much time you spend in ChatGPT, and maybe if you spend a lot of time in ChatGPT, they're pushing it to you. I don't know. That's just my guess if they were smart. But we know that they're rolling this out now on Amazon. It's called Rufus, and it's the same thing. It's basically this kind of ChatGPT conversational style search where you put in typically people put in a longer form question, a more detailed question than they do to previous search, and it will give you a conversational based answer. So you will put in, "Hi, I need to buy a dress for a summer wedding," or something like this, right? Whereas before you would just put in summer wedding dress. But in these conversational bots, people tend to talk to them more like they're humans, because they pass the Turing test. And then rather than showing you a page of like summer wedding dress where where whichever sellers have like got those keywords in the titles that's going to match them, the AI is smart enough to go, okay, this is a person. I mean, for me, bad example because I'm male, but imagine my girlfriend did this, right? So that they would say, okay, this is someone in their late 20s. They know what kind of sizes she's bought before. So she's, going to be shopping for like a small dress. They know what colors maybe she's bought before in terms of, maybe she buys white clothes or pink clothes or whatever it is, right? And they're going to then say, okay, that's the person we're dealing with. They've looked for summer dress for a wedding. We know the styles they like. So we're going to show them a curated version of, 3 or 4 things that, like, will fit we think is going to fit their intention behind the query. And it becomes a lot less about which sellers have matched summer dress and keywords. And it becomes a lot more about a personalized approach, matching the intent behind the customer. And that is, that's where I believe 100% that this is going. Super personalized, conversational based search, and then she will reply, oh, these are nice, but they're too long. I want something shorter. Or, there's, I don't know, whatever, they're not flowering enough. Show me something with more flowers, right? And then the AI will be intelligent enough to react and understand, and it will scan the images, and it will know what images have got flowers in them, and it will, like, dresses have got flowers in them, and it will show them those ones. So that's the kind of world that we are moving to on Amazon, definitely with Rufus, on Google Shopping with Gemini, and across all the different platforms.
Sounds really promising, but there is another side as well, and you've seen firsthand how AI is transforming e-commerce. So I would like to hear more. What are the biggest hurdles businesses face when Google, Amazon, and others update their algorithms? It's not always such a positive story from the perspective of business
Well,
owners.
yeah, and I guess it's a great question because we've seen this happen already. Like, we've been in the market for 2 years. We've seen multiple. I think I shared some before, Emmy, with you, of kind of customers who will literally come to e-content because they will be saying, "Hey, like, something's happened, X or Y has happened on my listing, and suddenly I'm not ranking anymore. We think it's Rufus because they see Rufus. They've probably done some searches for their product on Rufus, and it's not ranking for them, and they're like, oh, damn, like, this is bad." So this is going to be absolutely transformational for vendors and sellers, right? Because the customer experience is going to radically change. With that comes, how do you rank for these new systems? And that's exactly what e-content is focused on. We're focused on helping the sellers, the vendors, the agencies, the retailers adapt for these changes and rank on these new AI-powered systems.
Speaking about Rufus, and let's take it one step further and add up Cosmo to this combo.
Yeah.
So Cosmo and Rufus are becoming key players in Amazon's shopping experience. Can you tell a little bit more about Cosmo as well? And then our listeners and viewers would like to hear more about how they are changing the way we shop online as well.
So what we've discussed so far, has predominantly been about Rufus, because Rufus is that front end system. They call it Rufus. It's like ChatGPT integrated with Amazon. Cosmo is Amazon's common sense algorithm. That's what they call it, and it's basically the back end to Rufus. So it is it's doing the product search ranking based off human annotations and training data, but basically from Gen AI to show people in Rufus, but not just in Rufus, also in traditional search, what to rank first. So you've got these two different systems. You've got kind of the front end, which is Rufus, where people will type in and search for stuff, which I believe, as we discussed, is going to be steeper than mobile. People can just start either typing or actually talking to Rufus. I think soon people just talk to their phone, say, "I'm looking for a wedding dress." Talk to the phone. Phone will give the search quicker and easier than typing. And then Cosmo is that kind of engine in the back end, which is doing the actual ranking system.
Amazing. Google's latest search updates are all about understanding what people really want when they search, as the Amazon's one. What are some practical steps companies can take to adapt to these new search trends? Except the one you already mentioned, coming to you and asking you to help them out.
Well, that's the biggest one. I'm joking. So the three things that we think about are intent-based matching, visual content, and monitoring and optimization. So number one, as I kind of mentioned before, this is less about keywords now. It's about who's the customer, what they, what are they searching for? What is the intent behind their search? The AI algorithms are getting smarter than humans, so they understand this and they will show them relevant stuff. Hence why Cosmo is actually just called the common sense algorithm, right? It's just going to show people what they're searching for in common sense. And basically what this means is this whole era of SEO by keyword stuffing and keyword matching and long tail keyword matching is dead, right? Because if it doesn't, you can stuff as many keywords as you want, but if Amazon understands your product and it doesn't make sense for them to show that product in certain queries, it's not going to do it. no matter if you have all the keywords that they're searching for, right? Because it's got a level of intelligence now behind it through Cosmo. So that's number one. Number two is visual content. So SEO is now visual as well as written. And I just wrote a blog on this on Amazon's latest science paper. But basically, Amazon have recognized, Google have other, all of these companies have kind of image recognition models that they can purchase from their cloud, either AWS or Google Cloud or whatever, right? They all have big AI image recognition models that are very, very advanced. And they're all using their own models in search to basically match the text and the image and have both of them on some kind of weighting and show you stuff where if you search for, flowers on your summer dress, it has flowers on the dress. Whereas before you search flower on your summer dress on Amazon or Google, and all listeners know there's no guarantee that you're going to get anything like that, right? Because it's just not intelligent enough. It's not looking at the images enough. And now it will do. And the last one is monitoring and optimization. This is a very fast-moving landscape, as everyone will appreciate. These models drift, meaning that like the ranking just changes based on new inputs and new fine-tuning that they're doing, new data in the model. All of this stuff means that these models are constantly shifting, and therefore it's super important to kind of stay on top of it now, monitor what's happening, update your stuff. So yeah, those are the three things that we're focused on.
Amazing. And now I would like to focus a little bit more on the human side of things and us as consumers, us as creatures who have certain behavior, certain expectations, and want to cover our desires, dreams, and everything when we're using those technologies. So how do you think this algorithm changes and AI advancements will change consumer expectations and human behavior in e-com?
I was thinking about this last night because what I was thinking about really is we've made so many advancements to our tool from our perspective. Like in the last 2 years, it's so much better than when we first launched. And I was kind of thinking like it's funny because like customers aren't really that. I think they're blown away the same amount they were when we first launched. So we first launched in maybe November, a few weeks after it was possible to do this stuff. We launched the first image generation model. You type in the text, you generate a product image. You upload your product, type in the text, you generate an image. And obviously the models are nowhere near as good as they are now, right? So the images were kind of good. They weren't amazing, but they were like on the V1 of all of this stuff. And now we do the A+ content, we do the copy, we do like much better images. And I was just thinking to myself, I was like, it's kind of crazy because like the customers were like impressed back then, but it's not like they're a magnitude more impressed now, even though the tool's magnitude better. And it's just because like people's expectations just so quickly shift. So they just like they now expect things to be brilliant in, they kind of get aware of all this technology and they just expect it to be amazing. And the fact, and you give them something and it is amazing and it's kind of like, oh, that's what I expect. That's what I signed up for, right? Like I'm not blown away. So it is kind of really funny that actually like, despite it being like several magnitudes better, the customer kind of, they're not, once, I think there was a difference maybe when we first launched, like people had never seen this technology before. So it was kind of incredible. And they had no idea how to prompt because this was before ChatGPT, it was before Midjourney. So like people, they're doing this for the first time with us and they're like, wow, what do I do? But now, yeah, like the kind of the usefulness is way better, but the actual like impressed, the kind of excitement impressment is definitely kind of gone down a bit. So yeah, it's funny. I think people's expectations very quickly, they kind of hear about this in the news or on a podcast or wherever, and they just like naturally expect it. They're like, okay, well, I expect all this stuff to work. So I think, yeah, long way of saying, I think as consumers, we're just going to expect this to work seamlessly very soon. and we're not gonna, the fact that it's a huge technological shift of Cosmo and Rufus and everything else, like we don't care about that really. We're just going to be like, okay, like AI's here, why isn't it giving me hyper personalized recommendations, and 3 things rather than 50, so I didn't have to spend any time, and delivering it to me in one day on Prime, and or a few hours or whatever, like. So I think that like it'll just be normal soon.
That's true. That's what I saw through my experience as well. That when you introduce something groundbreaking for the customer experience, the customers say, wow, the first time they see it, and it works amazingly in the very beginning, but then they get used to it and they expect you to introduce even more. And as
Yeah,
human beings, we get used to those amazing things very fast, and then today, I believe many of us just expect that the sky's the limit, nothing is impossible. So why didn't you introduce this and this
yeah,
as well? Because somebody else had it. So we are in an eternal competition in a way with everybody who is using those technologies in a creative way, in a way which uplifts customer experience on different
yeah.
dimensions. So it's actually a very interesting topic. We could talk about it for a very long time. But looking into the future, how do you see e-com evolving as AI driven? What strategies can businesses adopt to stay competitive and ensure they are future proofed?
So I think the biggest change we're seeing now is this LLM, large language model driven search, and I think this is going to absolutely tear up e-commerce, and it's going to make it's it's going to be, I don't want to say as impactful as the internet, because I think the internet really was transformational in this, but I think it's going to be bigger than mobile. So mobile was pretty, mobile was a pretty big shift that people had to make, and I think this is going to be, an order of magnitude bigger, but admittedly less big than the internet. I think the future will be AI agents. So we'll have an AI agent who does our shopping for us, maybe talking to our smart fridges and kettles and working out what food we have left and what we should order. Say, oh, you have all these ingredients in your fridge. Why don't you order this one and this one, and then you can make this recipe that you love, and I'll do it all for you. Just do you want it? Yes or no, and it will do everything for us. And I think that will be bigger than the internet, because we'll have these super intelligent kind of helpers who are, helping all of us live. So I think that's coming. As we go out to, as we've raised venture capital and we talk to the VCs, like we talk about this, like this is the vision of our business, to help people in this next transformation as well as the current one. So yeah, I think e-commerce is definitely going to be, like AI is definitely going to be shifting e-commerce again beyond the one we're kind of seeing now. And then in the future, who knows? I think we're going to have, personal robots. All of us living in Western countries, with comfortable kind of living standards, I think a personal robot will be part of that, doing the cooking, doing the cleaning. So, who knows what, like how that will change stuff more. But definitely more changes are coming, which is exciting.
This is interesting to hear. Just yesterday, I saw some data on this, on the personal robots and the AI agents and everything what is a part of the latest technologies connected to AI. And the respondents, they said that everything is great. They are enjoying all those search opportunities and the interaction with AI and their ability to double down on their efficiency and everything. But the numbers were showing very red when it was about interacting with AI agents instead of human beings, when it was about getting in touch through, for example, customer support with AI agent instead of a real person, and everything what was about interacting with non-human support, or help, it was red. So I wonder what is your take on it, because as human beings we like to connect to other humans, and how will it impact our ability to interact, to connect, to communicate when our agents will talk to other people's agents, basically, and
Mhm.
everything will be supported by AI on a level which we even can't imagine today, and it's developing so fast.
So, I mean, what I say to you is yes. I mean, for um, for our generation, yes, like unimaginable. When you look at, for example, like I have a bunch of we have six kind of coders from the top universities in our company, right? And they all work. Um, they all prefer working remotely. They kind of grew up in the COVID generation, so they work all day, and they have their headphones in, and they talk to their friends as if they're playing video. Like I say, their friends. They talk to their co-workers as if they're playing video games. Like I have a younger brother who will sit there with his headphones on and play video games and talk to his friends all day. They work like this now, right? So they're all coding. They're all on like one long call, and they're talking to each other, and they're all working from home. But actually, like they're very much with each other. And to me, this is very strange, right? Because like I didn't grow up with that at all. But for them, it's natural, and actually kind of like they like being in person, but they don't. They prefer being in the comfort of their own homes. But having that interaction all day virtually with people when they find themselves, that is where they're like a lot more effective, and in their productive zone, right? So I think, yeah, like for us, unimaginable talking to an AI. I don't want to do it. It's weird. But I say give it 2 generations and it'll be second nature, right? It'll be like how it would be unimaginable for our great grandparents to kind of like eat McDonald's and all of this food, and now like all of us, most people in the world nowadays, they just eat that. They don't think about it. It's like it will just be fine in the future. That people will just be used to it. Is my opinion.
I love how you see it. And actually, from my perspective, I see it more like a shift from connecting body to body when you need this physical object in front of you, more towards soul to soul, when you are connecting without
Mm.
seeing, but you are still in touch. You are
Yeah,
still together, but it's just next level of communication, and AI enables it
yeah,
so much. So I see it as something beautiful, actually, as well, when applied in the right way.
yeah.
And today's interview, it's so inspiring, and we touched on so many important topics, and I'm sure our listeners and viewers, they are going to be able to apply these golden nuggets in their business and in their future proof strategies. So, to wrap up today's amazing conversation, what one piece of advice would you give to leaders focused on digital business growth?
Um, my one piece of advice would be this. Yeah, I mean, this is coming. So either you are going to be one of the businesses to benefit from it, or you're going to be one of the businesses that are put out of business by it. So um, I think it's between the importance, as I said, of mobile and the internet. So that's it's somewhere in the middle of that. That's what's coming down the road, and the difference now is it's all coming a lot faster. So like everything, all the speed of kind of adoption of the internet, and that took 10, 15 years, and the mobile took like 5 years. Like, yeah, this is 2 years. So you've got 2 years, and there's this massive change coming. So either be one of the winners or be one of the losers is my advice to people in this space.
So it's just about choosing the side. Do you want to
Well,
lose
if you're
or
doing
to
nothing,
win?
is a choice, right? Like to ignore it is a choice,
It's
and that
always.
is that a choice. You're choosing to prioritize other things, and in my opinion, maybe I'll be wrong, but I'm in my opinion, that would be the wrong thing.
I agree. So the winning mindset is something that is going to help you
Mhm.
moving forward
Yeah.
with impact and get your dreams come true. Thank you so much, Max, for being here today. I absolutely enjoyed our conversation, and I'm very grateful for you sharing your experience and your vision for the future with all of us.
Great to be here. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you for joining us on Digital Transformation for Humans. I'm Amy, and it was enriching to share this time with you. Remember, the core of any transformation lies in our human nature, how we think, feel, and connect with others. It is about enhancing our emotional intelligence, embracing a winning mindset, and leading with empathy and insight. Subscribe and stay tuned for more episodes where we uncover the latest trends in digital business and explore the human side of technology and leadership. Until next time, keep nurturing your mind, fostering your connections, and leading with heart.